We build our own bodies. So don't blame any God. Don't blame anybody. The body that we have now, we prepared it in the heavenly worlds ourselves, under the guidance of the super beings who are in charge of humanity. It is humanity's destiny to become a creative intelligence. That is our intelligence. And we are serving our apprenticeship all the time on this earth planet. During heavenly life, we are learning to build all kinds of bodies, the human body included. We learn it. We may not be aware of it in this physical life, but in the heavenly world, we learn how to build bodies. Teachers from the higher creative hierarchies teach the physically dead, consciously, those who are dead, they are taught consciously how to build body. The painter is taught to build an accurate eye, capable of taking in a perfect perspective and of distinguishing colors and shapes to a degree inconceivable among those not interested in color and light. Of course, the skill of the painter is different from ordinary people. The painter has a special skill, and the body, the perception that enables that to happen is built, is acquired back in the heavenly world. The same for the mathematician, the musician, or whatever profession. If you find your right profession, you attune to it. But if it is not your right profession, no matter how hard you try, it may not be like the one whose profession is original like that. The dead is taught in the second heaven to build a body that are prerequisites for the work on earth. That is why some are gifted in certain areas than others. They built it and they found it in the physical life. Overall, of all the professions, none is so high as the musician. The musician is so high. While the painter draws inspiration chiefly from the world of color, which we have said is the desired world, the musician attempts to bring us the atmosphere of our heavenly home world, where as spirits, we are citizens, and the musician translates them into the sounds of earth life. That's why music does it all. That is the highest mission, because as a mode of expression for soul life, music reigns supreme. It is being taken right from our own home world, the second heaven. That music is different from and higher than all other arts can be understood by looking at a statue or painting. Once created, they become permanent. They are drawn from the desired world and are therefore more easily crystallized, while music, being of the heavenly world, is more dynamic and elusive. It cannot be imprisoned, as shown by unsuccessful attempts to do so, partially by means of technology. If you listen to live performances, there is always some difference in them compared to the recorded versions, no matter the modifications made. The music so produced or reproduced loses much of the soul-stirring sweetness it possesses when it comes fresh from its own world, carrying to the soul memories of its home and speaking to it in a language that no beauty expressed in marble or upon canvas can equal. It is a law of nature that no one can inhabit a more efficient body than he or she is capable of building. So, the dead person first learns to build a certain grade of body and afterwards learns to live in it when reborn. In that way, he or she discovers its defects and is taught how to remedy them. You all work unconsciously. All dead people, they work unconsciously. And we were also there some years back. We work unconsciously at the building of our bodies during antenatal life until we reach the point where the quintessence of former bodies which were saved is to be built in. We talk about the extracts of the dense body, the vital body, and the desired body. All these extracts in the seed atom are saved. When we are coming down to take physical embodiment, all those extracts are woven back into the bodies. We'll be looking at that in our next lecture. Then we work consciously. It is only when we are to put into the bodies that we have newly built that we work consciously. Otherwise, it's all unconscious work. Or being that we haven't matured yet. We haven't become perfect yet to do all these things consciously. It will therefore be seen that the more a person advances and the more he or she works on his or her vehicles, the more powerful the person becomes in building better bodies. So we see that the individual learns to build his or her vehicles, bodies in the heaven world, and to use them in the physical world. Nature provides all phases of experience in such a marvelous manner and with such consummate wisdom that as we learn to see deeper and deeper into her secrets, we are more and more impressed with our own insignificance and with an ever-growing reverence for God, whose visible symbol nature is. Nature, as people claim, is the visible symbol of God. The more we learn of God's wonders, the more we learn of nature's wonders, the more we realize that this world system is not the vast, perpetual motion machine and thinking people who help us to believe. It is never so. It will be absurd, very, very much absurd, to think that if we toss a box of alphabets into the air, the characters will have arranged themselves into the words of a beautiful poem by the time they reach the ground. That cannot be so. The greater the complexity of the plan, the greater the weight of argument in favor of the theory of an intelligent divine author. And that intelligent divine author is God, called as such in English, but differently in other languages and cultures. There is God, the creator. And Acts chapter 17 verse 28 says, "For in him we live and move and have our being." No one is outside of God. We are all in God, but at different levels, depending on what we do. Having talked about the second heaven, we are now going to talk about third heaven. The third heaven.
Filling up every space, no privacy. And silently, it could build and build until you finally see. Whoa, it's taking over, damn no closure, moving closer. No exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some can't stay sober, looking over all this.